All right, so the sun is going down, and if I lean forward, I'm directly in the light, so I'm kind of trying to get this videoed before I lose light and before the sun comes directly in my face. So let's do this. All right, so I am crashing out of the fight or flight, but I've been in the fight or flight for like 2 weeks at this point or something. So I'm going to try to record this video, but kind of rough with my health right now, I'm not gonna lie. So today I want to talk about my new endometriosis doctor that I saw last week and the new treatment plans that we're actually going to be going forward with, which I'm really excited about. So how I got here is that I was looking for second opinions from endo doctors because my last situation was that I was told there were only a couple of treatment options for my endo, and I was in a mental health crisis for months because of the treatment that I was on, and my previous doctor was not hearing me, that I was saying I am not severely depressed and suicidal off of these meds, and on these meds I am. And so I found a new doctor that I wanted to go to and see what his approach was, and the appointment was so incredible last week. I mean, I came out of the appointment so not traumatized, and I'm gonna be honest, most of my doctor's appointments, it just brings back so much medical trauma and PTSD, and usually it's not positive and there aren't ideas, and it was a very different experience last week. And so I am so grateful. So like, one, he listens to his patients, he trusts his patients. He was like, I trust what my patients tell me. Another point is that he doesn't want to go to the ER. Like, that is the last thing he wants to do again, is operate on you again. And then he has all of these treatment options and ideas of what to do. I mean, he has all of these specialists that are on his team that he wants me to get involved with and see them. And I mean, he was saying endo is this like full body. I mean, it affects so many organs, so many systems in your body. And so having all of these different specialists that he works with is so important. And so like, one of the biggest things was just him teaching about endo. He shared so much information. I took so many notes. And so I'm really, really looking forward to going out and experiencing all the different specialists that he works with. So I have a bunch of notes here because my brain is not working at all. And so the treatment I'm currently on that still affects my mood and mental health, I've noticed it just makes me super negative. I'm basically on a high dose birth control to try to stop ovulation, stop my periods, stop everything. And so yeah, it's been negatively affecting my mood, and I just feel super negative all the time. I'm not my normal positive self. I've just been super negative since we went up to 2 doses a day, which is high dose. So our current plan is we are going to be weaning me off of that birth control, and that will just provide him information depending on what symptoms I get. So it actually started yesterday, and I'm already in increased pain. He said it's probably going to get much more painful for a while until we figure out what's going on, figure out new treatments for you, etc., etc. But I'm really excited to wean off of it because I'm really hoping that my mood improves and the chemicals in my brain haven't just changed. So that is one of our plans, is to wean off of this med. So far I've gone down to a half dose, and we'll just see what happens with my symptoms. But I'm anticipating, because when I was on a half dose, I was in a excruciating pain, and so that's why we went up to twice as much of that dose. So pretty nervous about that, because I'm already in daily pain, and I have monthly pain too, which has always been called ovulation pain. But he has a new theory, which I thought was very interesting. He said, I believe that you're not actually ovulating because you shouldn't be ovulating because you're on this high dose birth control. What might be happening is that, I'm going to just read from my notes so I don't get this wrong. So my ovary is possibly producing follicular development, and so it's not actually suppressing a follicle, and so it's causing pain. That would be a very interesting new theory, and he had all these, again, possible treatment plans that we can try in the future. But we're starting with this weaning of the birth control. The other thing I'm trying is he's very open to out-of-the-box ideas like acupuncture. So I'm going back to see my acupuncturist in January for another treatment, which greatly helped my endo pain this last time. And he even mentioned a local acupuncturist who does like endo treatments too that would be so much closer than New York City, and so I might try them out as well. So that was amazing that he is thinking out of the box with treatments. And the other thing that we're going to be starting is pelvic floor rehab. So unfortunately it requires weekly appointments, which I'm really not excited for because I just do not have the energy for that. But fingers crossed that it greatly improves some of my symptoms and would be worth the weekly appointments. And so he said that 95% of endo patients have pelvic floor dysfunction, where their pelvic floor is cramped or in a spastic state almost all the time. And so that can affect your GI symptoms too, because boy do I have a lot of GI symptoms as well, as most of us know and I've talked about on this channel, but just chronic constipation, nausea, just so many symptoms with my GI, just constant, I mean, such bad bloating. I look like I'm pregnant all the time and just really, really painful. The whole area is so painful. And so I'm incredibly nervous about pelvic floor rehab because I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be doing. But if it helps my GI symptoms and if it helps some of my pain, I'm definitely interested. So I will at some point do a video on that, depending on what the results are of my pelvic floor rehab therapy. So that is like the other big thing that we're doing and that he wants me to get in ASAP to do. But he just taught me so much about endo. Like he said that endo irreversibly affects your organs and systems in your body, and it's a chronic inflammation disease, which I did know, but that was an interesting way of putting it, and that some of the damage that the inflammation has done is probably going to be irreversible, unfortunately. So he said like there's just such a spectrum of options with him, and I'm just so excited to dive into all of the different specialists that he talked about that are on his team. It was just like such an exciting appointment. I felt like he was just listening, he was sharing knowledge, he was just so kind and understanding, and like I'm just so hopeful and excited. And he said like this process is going to take months if not years, but our goal is to just get me stable. Like my daily pain is so bad, my monthly pain is so bad, I'm just nowhere near stable right now. So he was like, our goal is to just get you stable, and then once you're stable, unfortunately endo can always, it's such an unpredictable disease, and it's lifelong. Like you never get rid of endo. And so, you know, once I'm stable, even once we get me there, you know, things might change once we're there, unfortunately. But I find that approach to be very exciting and one that I really resonate with. And he said like it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and we're going to go really slowly, which I appreciated so much because, you know, I told him I'm so sensitive to medications and also supplements. And so he said, you know, we'll go really, really slowly, which I'm so excited about. And something else that he said was really interesting was a lot of people have fatigue and brain fog with endo, and unfortunately it generally doesn't get a lot better. And so, you know, I do wonder how much of my fatigue and brain fog is from endometriosis. I think there are other things going on that we don't know what it is yet and we can't pinpoint, but I think endo just can affect everything in your body. And so I'm really excited to try to get my treatment plan something that my body can tolerate and not cause like additional harm to my body. So his approach is to really prioritize issues. So like right now my daily and monthly pain is what we're prioritizing, but he said, you know, if that gets better, then we can focus on like the GI issues next. But he was saying, you know, whatever you want to prioritize, you let me know and then we'll work on that. And I appreciate, oh my gosh, his approach was like chef's kiss. I mean, it was just what all doctors should be, listening to their patients, open to hearing what their patients are telling them, trusting their patients, having such a big spectrum of options. And I loved his approach. He was like, I am obsessed. I constantly am thinking about endometriosis. I'm constantly learning about it. And that's the kind of doctor that I want. I want a doctor who is, you know, curious, is learning new things about their area of study all the time, is, you know, at the top of their field with looking at research and different stuff, open to new ideas about it, like just so many things. And so I'm incredibly excited. I think it's going to be a very difficult road going forward, just because There's going to be a lot of pain as I wean off of these meds, and then we get feedback from that, and then we figure out what treatment option to go through next. There's so many different treatments, but I mean, he mentioned like another chemotherapy treatment and different things like that. So these are very intense medications that we are messing with. Hormones are very intense. Like one of the meds that I've been on in the past, he was like, that puts you into menopause, basically. Like your hormones are at menopause level, and that obviously affects your body in wild ways. And so, you know, so many of these things have side effects. It's just figuring out what works best for your body. And I'm just like, I know I'm so tired right now, so you can't see the excitement on my face or in my voice, but I'm just so, I feel like a weight is off my shoulders because I don't feel like I have to be in control of researching all of this, figuring out what's going to be best for me. I feel like I can give that to the expert and feel like he's actually has my best interest at heart, and he's going to listen to me and take me seriously and trust me, and we're going to work together on this, like you should be able to do with all doctors. And so this is just another expert, sorry, I'm having hot flash, that I'm adding to my team, and I just feel like things are falling into place. I know I've said this before, but I'm really, really hopeful that some things will start to change with my health. So I'm just hanging in there and trying to let myself crash, but I do have, baby, come here. Baby's making noise. I do have something like every day this week, which just sucks because I'm learning that I need breaks. I need to do not even one thing a day, and I need my editing of my vlog and my filming of my vlog to be the one thing I do on each of those days. And so like my schedule just is too much. That's why it's stressful to add in the PT, the pelvic floor therapy, because that's one whole thing that I'm doing a week, like a day, and then that's the only thing I can do that day with my limited energy. So I'm gonna go because baby needs attention, I think. But that's the update. I'm really excited, so I will continue to update you all on like how the new treatments are going, how my body is responding to being weaned off of my current treatment that's not working for me. And I'm just so grateful and excited that I found this doctor. So fingers crossed things start to change. So thank you so much. Here's the light. Thank you so much for listening, my friends, and I will continue to keep you all updated. Okay, I'm gonna go crash. Peace.